first 7 jurors chosen today in the historic criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. And he's about to make a surprising stop in Manhattan. And good evening to you at 6 o'clock. I'm Liz Chow.
And I'm Bill Ritter. It seems like picking a jury in the Trump criminal trial in Manhattan is going much faster than originally predicted.
Yes, as we said, 7 jurors from different parts of Manhattan, 5 more jurors to go, plus 6 alternates.
And yes, the former president continues to trash the charges. Eyewitness News reporter MJ Burkett live in the courthouse, in Lower Manhattan with our lead story tonight. Newt?
Yeah, that's right, Bill. Yes, dozens of people were excused yesterday, saying they simply couldn't be fair. So what they did today was to focus and drill down on the others who said they could be fair. And they picked more than half the jury in a matter of hours.
One man said he didn't want to bear what he called the burden of history.
I think it's a heavy burden to bear, and I didn't want to bear that burden.
Others, like Kara McGee, couldn't commit the time, but she wanted to.
You have to be living under a rock to not know who he is and have opinions about him. But to me, a fair trial is incredibly important and more important than how I feel about the defendant and what he has done in the past.
In court, prosecutor Joshua Steinglass asked potential jurors whether they had the guts to convict Trump if they can prove the case. Look at the defendant and take a look inside yourselves. Will you be able to render a verdict of guilty? I can judge this case on the merits, said one. Another vowed to give this man a fair shake. More than half the jury was selected today. Juror number 1 is an Irish-born Harlem resident who works in sales. Juror number 2 lives on the Upper East Side and is an oncology nurse. Juror number 3 is a Chelsea resident who does corporate law. Juror number 4 was born in Puerto Rico, lives on the Lower East Side, and works in IT. Juror number 5 lives in Harlem and teaches in a charter school. And juror number 6 also lives in Chelsea and works as a software engineer. A 7th was selected at 5:30. The case centers on a $130,000 payment made to porn actress Stormy Daniels to buy her silence over her alleged affair with Trump in 2006. Trump is accused of covering up the payment so it would not damage his 2016 campaign.
Marked it down as a legal expense. That's exactly what it was. And you get indicted over that?
This isn't a baseball game, his defense attorney told potential jurors. This is extraordinarily serious. Asked for their views of the former president, one man replied, "I'll say I'm a Democrat, so there you go. But I walk in here, and he's a defendant, and that's all he is. If I were sitting in a bar, I'd be happy to tell you," said another. "But in this room, what I feel about President Trump is not important." End quote.
Well, late this afternoon, we learned that Donald Trump is going to make a surprise campaign stop in Hamilton Heights at a bodega in Hamilton Heights, where a worker stabbed a man to death back in 2022. A large crowd has gathered. That stabbing was in self-defense. Former President Trump is expected to discuss crime in New York City. It's a campaign stop. He is expected there in a short time from now. As to the criminal case, both sides have the right to reject potential jurors, but the judge has the right to overrule them. He did that several times today, although he did exclude 2 jurors over what he believed were anti-Trump social media posts. We're live in Lower Manhattan. MJ Burkett, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.